All right, it's Tuesday, June 27th. This is an end of the day SPY recap, and today we end up with a two up green bar. We took out the high of the previous day. We held the midpoint of the previous day, and after a little bit of consolidation near the open, we started higher and moved up and closed near the highs of the day. So after we got the two up bar here, we reached our first target and then our second target, and we are on our way to fulfilling the inside on the weekly chart, the inside bar failure that I actually have been talking about really since last Thursday. If we go back to the daily chart, once the market came down and pulled back a little, it's been up strong and then it pulled back a little bit. Thursday had sort of a green day. At that point, whether you went up or down on Friday, you kind of sensed you were getting an inside week. And that's kind of what was unfolding here. You knew you'd end this week with kind of an inside bar, and I've been discussing how when I see an inside bar on any time frame, you want to see how you get out of it, either high or low, but also you want to be on the lookout for a failure, meaning that you break below the inside bar. Maybe you reach your target, maybe you don't, but then you come back up through the, if you fail on the breakout, then you come back up through the midpoint of an inside bar and you go to the other end of the range. And that seems to be what's happening here on the weekly chart. So you can see we still now, have way to go to get back. We have more room to run to get to the high of that weekly bar. And we'll see how this bar closes with 3 days to go. There's still plenty of time. But for now, we have the two up day with a green bar, so we're expecting follow through higher, and here's the kind of the target. It's also kind of a fair value gap. If I go to the 15-minute chart and zoom it out, if we head up here, you can see there's a gap area up here to fill, some inefficient pricing. So we'll certainly expect that until proven otherwise. And now that we look at the structure on the day, you can see it was obviously after some consolidation, it moved up very strong and closed a little bit, off the highs, which is actually good. I'd love for the market tomorrow to kind of open up anywhere down here above the midpoint of this bar and then give me an opportunity to buy again to take out that high and then to move to those higher targets here on the daily chart, up to the 438, 440 area type of thing. So we'll see how things open tomorrow. But in terms of today, what unfolded, if you look at the price action between the blue lines was our pre-market range. Also the green line bar here was the open of the week. That was yesterday's open. So if we stayed below that, you could be biased to the downside. But if we broke above that, then it showed you the weekly chart was also, after yesterday's down day, was reversing back to the upside. So anyway, the first bar, 15-minute bar, kind of opened up green, and I was ready to buy it if it would have broken, up above there, but it didn't do that. Then it kind of had a pause bar on bar two, and I really liked seeing that because to me, at this point, the two bars pausing, either I was going to maybe try a short trade and see if we take out those pre-market lows and continue lower, or I was, prepared to buy the breakout in some form above the first bar high, Then on bar three, it did move lower and it looked like maybe you're going to have the down day, but then it took out the intraday lows and then closed up a little bit. So this wasn't really a big red bar to go short. I continued watching it, and then it was this bar here to me that was going to kind of tell the story, and either it was going to go red and get me to buy puts or go green to get me to buy calls. And I shot some videos why I ended up buying calls here, anticipating this breakout. I could have been wrong, but that's what was unfolding here on kind of a red to green move. The way price kind of came down, took out its lows, but then held and then started green again. And again, I've been anticipating a potential weekly down failure that would reverse to the upside, so I wanted to be aggressive in terms of getting in. Now if you didn't get in, and obviously it got in here, I shot another video how it eventually took out the first bar high, and this was kind of a key moment. Are you just going to take that out in reverse or not? And it ended up kind of pausing, and then obviously once it started moving up, there was no looking back. If you missed this buy here and you were still watching it, once you kind of had this green bar to take out the intraday high, you were biased to the upside, and you could have bought the first pullback. And the way to do that would have been, if you go to the 5-minute chart here, there was really a nice, after this, again, this is a pause area because you're taking out some stops here and it pauses. But look at that beautiful 5-minute reversal in here. Came down, but gave you a great opportunity to jump in again. You knew the bias on the day was up after taking out that first bar high. And then at that point, it was just up all day long. I noted the way it formed a little liquidity here. If you go to the 1 minute chart, you're watching it towards the end of the session. This big move down, and then it was chopping around. I saw this as building up some liquidity that it wanted to take out, and that's why at the end of the day it came down and took that out. But again, that's a good sign for, hopefully it'll stay down here for some buy opportunities tomorrow. I mean, anything's possible. We could have a big gap down. I've seen days do that where you gap down way below the midpoint of this and start lower. But obviously, we're looking for a continuation higher here, not only because of this daily green bar, but also because the weekly, inside bar failure to the downside is in force, and that projects to the high of that prior week. So today was a really good day for trading to the upside. A lot of stocks also gave this similar opportunity. So we will expect continuation higher. We'll get into, as this week, let's see if it reaches its target at that point. You have to really kind of judge what's happening here on the weekly chart relative to, because we're coming to the end of the month. Looking at the monthly chart, we're closing green, but it's going to start a whole new quarter and everything in July. So we'll get into that, towards the end of June. But if we're going to expect follow through higher, we'll have to see what happens here. Maybe we go for one day and then have a big reversal back down. We're just going to have to see. And the month of June kind of closes with a bit of a selling tail, and then the new quarter and the new month starts red. I mean, anything's possible. But for now, this was the move that, we were really looking for ever since we started this pullback. So good day trading to the upside today. Very strong 15-minute chart. If you got in, I mean, there was just no real sell. There was no reason to exit in terms of watching structure unfold. So big green day to the upside. We'll expect continuation tomorrow, and we will see if we reach our weekly target. Target number one up here is getting that outside bar, back through the this range here, and we'll see if that happens, if we even head up to all-time highs. So good day again, and we will just kind of watch the pre-market range tomorrow, and if it holds the midpoint of this bar and breaks up a little bit, hopefully it won't gap up too much, and I'm going to anticipate more buying tomorrow until proven otherwise.